Hi, my name is Alexander Yu, and I'm an English teacher at NTK Academic Group. Thank you for joining us in our second installment of our three-part series for the Hong Kong Young Writers Awards competition, New Tales of the Gobi Desert. This video, I'll be talking about setting. What is setting? Setting is the time and place of the story, or the when and where that it happens. Take, for instance, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. In her series, the time and place happens to be central London in modern day times. What do we think when we think of London? Well, we think of red buses and black taxis. Now let's try to take that and place that in Hong Kong. Does Hong Kong have red taxis? Yes. Do we have black taxis? No. Now why is this important? Because we want to make everything believable. Remember, our characters are slowly interacting with the environment around, and we want to make sure that everything is uncomplicated or easy for them to understand. Now, a complication that Harry Potter is introduced to is magic. Now, magic in modern-day London is interesting, but it also adds an added limitation. Can he expose that magic to the passers-by, or does everybody understand where magic comes from? Now, these are the important aspects when we think about setting, and also how characters interact with setting. Picking a setting is actually really difficult for a story. So, remember, we always have 5 senses that we write with. That's taste, touch, sight, smell, and sound. This year's topic of New Tales of the Gobi Desert places us in a desert environment where it will be hot, and basically, when you're also breathing in the air, you'll also be tasting the salt in the sand. Now try to think of an environment that has these similar qualities. Now, if you were to place this similar setting in Hong Kong, would we have those same 5 senses? Would we still be able to feel the same heat on our skin? Yes. But what happens if we were to make the environment really cold? Would it be believable, and would it follow along with the limitations of our setting? I've never been to the Gobi Desert myself, but if I were to create a story on the Gobi Desert, how about we start off with a character who's riding a camel. He's galloping through the sand dunes, and sand's blowing into my teeth. I can taste it. It tastes really salty, and I'm feeling the really hot air blowing against my skin. I'm looking at the beating sun blaring down on me, and I'm trying to search for my Ray-Ban sunglasses. I can't find them, so what do? Maybe I reach into my backpack, and then I take out my sandboard. Now, it's not as hot as a metal one, but I know it feels kind of gritty, and I can tell that the wood is beginning to really hot and splinter underneath the sun. What am I going to do with this? Where am I going to go with this scene? Well, these are all the important details that you want to think about while you guys are creating your new tales of the Gobi Desert. So remember, when you're creating your own setting, try to think of someplace that you're already familiar with, someplace that your 5 senses already have enough detail that you can apply them to something new. So creating a new setting is really using something that you know and adding something new and different to make it a little bit more interesting. So for instance, you can take Hong Kong, make it a little colder. You can also take New Tales of the Gobi Desert and make it an old tale, but add some new events to it as well. In summary, we've already talked about creating a sympathetic villain or villains, and we've talked about a setting. Now remember, settings help enhance your characters, and they also help create conflict in a believable storyline. Thanks again for joining me, Alex Yu, for my second video in my 3-part series for the Hong Kong Young Writers Awards competition, New Tales of the Gobi Desert. If you need any more information, please check out the following websites listed in the video.